Hello to the nation, Dr. PlayStation Nation here, talk to you guys over Domination on Village. Hopefully you enjoyed the new music for the intro. It was made by a personal friend of mine, Max Besco. His link to his channel will be in the description. He has a bunch of music out there. He made that for me for use for this intro, because the last one was somewhat copyright-ish. There was some issues with it. So we're using this one now. Hopefully you guys like it. I'll leave a link to the entire song. He posted it on a separate channel. So hopefully you guys can kind of go show him some love. Go comment on his channel, say Dr. PSN sent you or Nick sent you or something along those lines. Tell him that I gave him a little shout out here because he didn't really expect it. But anyway, hopefully you guys kind of enjoyed that. Today we have a 49 and 9 gameplay, which is almost a 5.5 KD, I believe. I don't know, my math's a little rusty after a week on March break. I'm using the F80 silenced with kick. I got my assault point streaks being the Predator missile, Reaper, and AC-130. Sadly, I don't get an AC-130, but I get 2 Reapers, so if I had a nickel for every time I died inside of a Reaper, I'd be a millionaire by now. But anyway, also I'm using the perks Sleight of Hand Pro, Hardline Pro, and Steady Aim Pro. I got my MP9 Akimbo secondaries. This game is a losing game, but it is not about the gameplay today. It is about high school stories, guys. This is a new series that I kind of wanted to start. I started talking about these kind of stories in private matches with you, or sorry, in parties with you guys. Whenever I made a subscriber party, or one of the subscriber parties I made, I started talking to you guys a little bit about my high school life, because you guys were asking me, how old are you, what grade am I in, like, what is my experience with bullying. You guys were talking to me about bullying and popularity and all these sort of things, and I was asking you guys if these would make entertaining commentaries. Do you think I should talk about these in commentaries? Because there's only so much I can tell you about. Okay, so see where I am right here? This is a good line of sight. You want to make sure you're cutting off the spawn to the left here. You want to make sure you're cutting off traffic to BDOM so you can protect the flag. But you want to make sure you don't stay there. Like, there's only so much I can tell you guys about this game, and I will continue to give you guys tips and tricks. But I believe that this kind of gives you guys more of a personal look at me. And yeah, so. Anyway, let's kind of get started talking about it. Today we're going to be talking about bullying in specific. I have a huge experience with bullying. As much as the people that I was telling, the subs that I was telling, were surprised to hear this, I have a big kind of experience with bullying, and that's what I'm going to start talking about. I know it's high school stories, but this one starts in elementary school. That's where my biggest kind of interaction with bullying occurred. So here we go, let's get started. We're going to start in kindergarten. So back in kindergarten is actually where bullying started for me. Between kindergarten and grade 2 was when it was kind of medium and kind of building up through there. So kindergarten, if you guys did see my setup video for 500 subs, you heard me mention that I had cancer when I was a child, and I was born with a cancerous tumor on my face. It was an external tumor, and it covered up the majority of my right eye. So my right eye for the first 4 years of my life didn't develop properly. I should have been wearing glasses for a long period of my life, but doctors never really realized it. They just thought because of the surgeries or something to do with that, I was either slow or maybe mentally handicapped because I couldn't read properly. I might have been dyslexic, any of those number of things. Nobody really knew. It was just because I needed glasses. But because of that scar on my face and the fact that I just couldn't read properly and I couldn't do a lot of these things, as well as other people began to make fun of me. People began to laugh at me in class when I couldn't read a word or something like that. And that was kind of my first interaction with bullying, and it was kind of ostracizing. Like that's the type of bullying that it was. It wasn't just one-on-one like verbal abuse. It was just ostracizing. Kids were pushing me out of their social groups, and this being a vital time in your social kind of evolvement. The first year you see these people, that wasn't such a good thing. But so that went on for about 2 years, and then in grade 1 I finally got glasses. After a year and a half of remedial classes, I finally got my glasses, and I started doing better. My mom started teaching me mathematics, like grade school mathematics, so that I was kind of ahead of the curve, and I started doing more successful, and that happened until about grade 2. In grade 2, I met a student named Bryce. I'm not going to say his last name for the sake that I don't want you guys going on his Facebook and stuff like that, but I met a person named Bryce, and Bryce is the hugest douchebag I have ever known. Not only did he make fun of me for wearing glasses at the time, but he brought up the kind of mark from verbal abuse and ostracizing that really wasn't occurring that much, and kind of brought it back and did some physical abuse. In late grade 2, I believe, we were on the same bus, and he sat behind me on the bus, and he began spitting in my hair. He like spit in my hair, and I had to go home and take a shower. It was disgusting. And my mom wanted to call the police, but my dad got her to stop, kind of calm down. This was, from what they knew, was the first time this was happening, but he has been doing verbal abuse for a while at that point. And then almost a month or two after that, there was an incident where he wanted my gloves or something to do with that, and I didn't give them to him, so he slammed my head against the side of the bus. On the inside, he was sitting in the seat behind me again, and he just kept on ramming my head into the side of the bus. I was a smaller kid at this point in time, so I couldn't really defend myself properly, him being a larger child, and because of that, my head started bleeding, and I had to go to the hospital. Good to know that there was no actual damage. It was just a cut from the screw that started the bleeding, and so I was fine after that, but my mom actually pressed charges with the police, and since then, his parents actually moved. They didn't want any more trouble with my mom. They knew that she was going to call the police if Bryce did anything from that point on, so they moved away. Also, there's another bully that kind of tag-teamed up with Nick and kind of gave him moral support so that he would bully me more. His name was Nick, ironically enough. And he ended up moving away just around the same time when his uncle, I believe, passed away, leaving his family like some really huge house or something like that. And that's when he left. But so that's really when my elementary school life kind of picked up. So that was my experience with bullying. I had a pretty bad physical abuse as well as verbal abuse with bullying, and then it still doesn't end there, guys. So as far as grade 4, 5, and 6 were concerned, like grade 3 was kind of when they both moved away, and then kind of 4, 5, and 6. They were all great. Like, I didn't have any complaints. I kind of started growing socially with people. I talked to people at school more often. I was excelling in school, stuff like that. It was a really great time in my life. And for those of you who don't know, I'm in Canada, and my school system works out. Elementary school is kindergarten to grade 6, and then middle school is grade 7 and 8, but my high school works where it's a middle school and a high school combined, so my high school is grade 7 through 12. And that's when it kind of started again. Sadly, I didn't accelerate in growth as far as social interaction as my peers, if that makes any sense at all. I wasn't that social. I was kind of socially awkward going into middle school. And because middle school was not just one school, but 3 elementary schools merging together at that point, we didn't have a lot of high schools in our area. 3 elementary schools were merging together, and because I was kind of socially awkward, I didn't make the best of friends. I was friends with a few people from my elementary school that went to that same school, but as far as kind of meeting new people, it didn't go over so well, and I was really socially awkward, made some bad decisions that started growing my hair out, as you guys see in my as you guys saw in my Don't Jailbreak Your iPod Touch. I had really long hair. I wasn't used to puberty and having to have those hygienic responsibilities, so I was kind of greasy and had a smell to me, apparently. I don't know. It was bad. It was bad, guys. I made some bad social decisions. I started reading Twilight because I don't know. I just read it and did it publicly, so everybody knew about it. And that's when I started getting verbally bullied again. People started calling me gay. Oftentimes, teachers referred to me as a girl because they thought I was a girl. Like, when I saw a new teacher, they thought I was a girl right off the bat, which is just great. Thank you. Really helps me with my peers. And I started getting verbally bullied again. And at that point, I'm just really glad it didn't last as long as before, because before it lasted years. This time it only lasted about 6 months. Then the principal kind of stepped in. I kind of had a little breakdown. You know, I'm going to talk about some other topics that'll relate to that, talking about popularity, talking a little bit about suicide, and so I kind of had a breakdown there. I did not try and commit suicide, I'm not trying to say that, but I'll talk about that at a later date when I get into these different topics. But principal got involved, the people who were bullying me got in trouble, and they kind of laid off. They didn't realize the trouble that they were harming, and they backed off of it. And since then, I've had a really great high school experience. Since I kind of moved out of middle school, went to high school, met a new social group of people that I really click well with, that kind of have the same interests as me and whatnot. But looking back on it, it's something that really formed me as a person. It's the reason why I'm the person that I am today. And I'm not saying that I'm thankful that I was bullied like that, but it did really change the person that I turned out as, the person that I am today, and I do really like the person that I am today. I do like myself. So I guess in that respect, you can say that the bullying that happened to me was a good thing, but it was pretty harsh, I guess, relative to some people, and really easy relative to others. But hopefully you guys kind of feel enlightened, like you see this different perspective of me, because lots of you guys were surprised when I told you guys before, like in this private match, the 5 of you guys were surprised, so maybe you guys are feeling the same way. Anyway, comment below about future topics that I should talk about high school stories. I'm thinking something to do with popularity, because I have a pretty interesting experience with that, and some advice that I can give you guys. But anyway, sorry if this commentary is not as kind of clean cut as you guys are used to. Like, I didn't do a bunch of takes on this. I did 3 or 4, and I didn't really want to do very many more just because it's not something I enjoy talking about, but I thought it was something that I should share. So sadly, we did lose B-Dom, and that's the reason why we lost this game. I go 49-9, which is a 4.5 KD or 4.44 KD, and I got 4 assists. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed. My Twitter will be in the description, guys. I'll be telling you about subscriber sessions. We are at 808 subscribers as I talk right now, so we're getting closer. Not as close as I would have liked, but we're getting closer to the 1K by Friday kind of deal I have with you guys. Anyway, I'm the Doctor, and I'm out. Peace.